Well, hello, everybody. This is Sharice Gilliam, and I'm here in the Hustlerpreneur Studios. And I am with my girl, my cousin from another, what is it's sister, brother from another mother. But I don't know what it is when your cousins from another generation. I don't know, whatever. She's my girl. So I am super happy to be here. I was on her show live in Houston. So I'm happy to have her now here in Cali in the Hustlerpreneur Studios with us. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, here is Candace Joseph. Candace, what's happening?
Oh, just living life every day. Business is business, but everything is good here in Texas.
I love it. Everything's bigger in Texas. Candace has like the biggest personality, the biggest smile, the biggest hats. That girl is the bomb. So let's just jump right into it, right? So we're here on Chit Chat with Sharice. I'm here in the Hustlepreneur Studios, and we're going to talk all things business. So Candace, let's just start off with, look, you're like all over the planet. I love it. You're like, my version of a celebrity, right? So you had your premiere of your magazine cover. That was pretty exciting. You have a podcast. You have your radio show. So tell us, Candace. Tell us all about Candace.
Oh, you want the 30-second elevator pitch?
Sure. Sure.
My name is Candace Joseph. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Joseph Consulting Firm located here in Houston, Texas. Our goal is to strengthen any new entrepreneur or nonprofit as they launch. We want to send them off with strength and knowledge, and just to know that there's greatness and you always have support in the entrepreneurship space. And then I'm also the radio host of the Business Knowledge Broker Hour with Candace Joseph on High Volume Music Radio. Where, I find jewels
Yeah.
and hidden jewels that people don't know about that are there in business and nonprofit space, but they're doing great things. So I decided I want to give them some visibility. I want people to hear about their whys and just to be all around great. So in order for people to know who you are, you have to be visible. So that's the business side of me. Personally, I love to listen to opera. I like to play chess, and I have a very bad hat collection.
You do. You have an awesome hat collection. So speaking of the awesome hat collection, every Monday night, Candace and I and Jamie Perkins were on a podcast called Hope Hats and Sheroes. And you have to come and see Candace hat collection. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and then you also can get the audio version on Anchor FM. But you've got to come check out our hat collection. It is amazing. All right, Candace, so let me ask you all the hard questions. Are you ready? So, first thing, what's the number one thing that you see small business owners do that makes you pull your hair out?
Not following the blueprint of the consultant.
Yeah. Oh, say that again. Say that again, right? As a business consultant for 25 years, it makes you go mad, right? Like I
It
told
does.
you.
It does. It's like, my motto is your idea, our plan, your success. That's our tagline. It's a Joseph Consulting Firm, right? So it's like if you give us your vision, we take that seriously. Where you say you want to be, where you want to go, we take it seriously. But then we put together a specialized plan. Nothing's cookie cutter. No business owners alike. They don't think alike. They don't act alike. Their industries are different. So when you don't follow the blueprint, it's kind of like, why? And then you wonder why you're months behind in profit. You have to follow the plan, or else why would you come to us if you already knew the plan?
Yeah, no, that makes good sense too. Because even though people say, "Oh, I have my plan, I have my plan," why do I need you? So yesterday I was on Facebook, and a person had posted that they were just really flustered in their business, and I said, you really got to invest in a good consultant. And they said, "Oh, well, I'm investing in a consultant, but I can't continue to invest in them." I say all the time that there are moments when you have to decide how bad you want something, because it is like buying three tires to a car. Those three tires were really expensive, but that fourth tire is the one you need to get to where you got to go,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
some people stop just short of really finishing off that plan that you have for them that would give them the breakthroughs they need, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. And it's kind of sad to hear when you see someone say, okay, well, I can't continue to plan. But this is the thing too, in that situation, communication is key because at that time your consultant is invested in it. They're in it to win it with you. So in that point, it should just be a conversation that says, okay, well, hey, this is what I'm going through, but I know I need the coaching. Can we work something out?
Yes.
Because I'm a person, I believe in giving everybody a shot, and I don't believe in leaving a man behind. So for me, it's like, okay, what can I do to help you get back on track and make sure that you're financially responsible as well? Because it plays hand in hand, but you do have to invest in yourself in order to push yourself to your greatness.
You do. You do. You do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a person who says, I really want to, I really want whatever it is that they want to do, right? Whether they want to help people or they have a product line, but they say, I don't have the money to invest, you say open communication and have dialogue with your consultant. So then what is the other thing that they should know about being able to reach their goals if they're financially strapped, let's say?
If you're financially strapped, sometimes you have to think of creative ways to get to your goal. I have to say, I was a person that how serious I was in my journey of being an entrepreneur. I sold part of my jazz collection,
Yeah,
you
that's right.
know?
Yeah,
So sometimes you have to make those sacrifices and say, okay, how bad do I want this? And then think about this too, depending on what your product is, it may be something that you can launch on a lower scale in order to get the
and then
funding
scale
that you
up.
need.
Yeah.
Instead of launching with 10 products, you launch with three of your that are going to be your best sellers and things that are easy to market.
Yeah, no, and I think I created a product line. I have 75 all natural hair care products. 75. I think I'm at like 78 now. And when I started, I decided I can't afford to launch 78 products. It's just is the cost. Just buying all the just packaging alone, would be the cost of a house. So I decided to start with 3 for women and 3 for men. And then I said, you know what, I got to scale that back. I'm going to start with 1 for women and 1 for men, go into test markets, and then scale up, right?
Yes.
So, and that was what I did. And so that way I can get them into particular salons and shops and stores and be able to keep up. Because here's the other thing too, as bad as you want something, if your response was great, you don't have the revenue to produce it. And that's a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? That could be difficult.
But sometimes people don't realize if you never know who your investment angel may be.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to pitch it to strangers. You got to, say, hey, I have a product. This is the cost of it. Can you help me produce 5? I'll make sure your return on investment is good within the first, 90 days or 60 days. Sometimes we have to be creative in that space to get what we want,
Right.
and if you had a product, say it goes in a jar, but a friend that has jars on wholesale and they make the best labels,
Yes.
you say, well, hey, can we create some type of partnership for a 90-day period? You get one of those, what they call it, the agreement. You get through like a little joint partnership agreement for a specific time. But that way, it's just a work. It's not just you. And then you both can really pump your brands together as the hair care product person and the person that create these wonderful, one of a kind jars that they go in. Both can combine forces
Yeah.
move forward. That's just another solution.
See, that's a hustlerpreneur move. That would be like the total hustlerpreneur move. I would be like, okay, I've got this, but you've got that. And so let me figure out how to pretty much go back to the old days of bartering
That's
and utilizing what you have and what I
yes.
have for it to come together. That is such a hustlerpreneur move. I love it.
But I
So
barter to this day.
yeah,
I
right.
do it. I barter to this day like a lawn care guy needed a website. I say, well, hey, can you cut my grass for 6 months? It's just one of those things. Like you say, okay,
Right.
what can you do for me?
Yes.
Someone asked me for a marketing plan this week. Same situation. hey, Candace, I'm financially strapped. I can't do that. I've spent all my money on this, but I need this marketing as well. So I said, okay, well, what can we do about that? How can we help each other? So
Right.
it was more so of, okay, well, I'll be your, I'll help you out on some things for the next, couple of weeks,
Right.
and then, that'll be a fair trade. Hey,
Yeah,
let's do it.
absolutely. Because fair trade, no robbery in that. I know sometimes I use that as a tool to sometimes to get clients, right? So, and sometimes I use as a tool to really help people that I could just see they have the potential, but they need help, right?
Yeah.
So I know once, just recently, this past summer, I met a young man who I could just see him. He was working through the neighborhood. He was working so hard trying to grow his landscaping business, but his truck looked like a hot mess. His cards, his flyers, they were all mismatched, hodgepodgey. And I said, look, let me help you with a little branding, right? I got a couple sprinkler heads that are broken. Now, my husband came home and said, what does the dude doing my yard? He's fixing our sprinkler heads. He was like, I'll fix those. Like, no, I've already given him some branding, let him fix it. So that he could, and I didn't need them fixed, but I just figured I'd find something so I could be able to help him,
Hmm.
you know, rebrand himself. And he's doing great now. But sometimes that barter goes a long way.
Yes,
Bartering can go a long way.
yes, it can.
So when you're talking to your consulting clients, what's the number one thing that you see across the board that they say, Candace, I need help with dot dot dot.
Visibility,
Good one.
visibility. A lot of times people are always scared to enter into entrepreneurship because they said, okay, well, somebody else already is doing that, or someone's doing this, someone's doing that. How do I get out there in front of more people? Because you see the things where people have pop up shops, but there's a fee, or people don't know where they can go to even sell their items. Just depends on what they do or their services. So for me, I'm a person that connects people.
Yes.
So I believe in finding people that are within that niche or related to that niche, and I try to make those connections. But I always tell people visibility is key. If nobody knows you exist, how can they support you? How can they buy in? They have to see you in some kind of way. So whatever I have to do and whatever resources I have to pull out my nifty phone and text someone and just say, hey, I'll pay their pop-up fee, but I want them to have this position in the room.
Mhm.
I'll do that for a client.
Yeah, that's awesome because you're right. Visibility is definitely a key to having a win-win success, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you say about people? Because now we're all online. No more pop-ups, no more, trade shows. Very little. I've seen some people actually have went to a trade show lately. I'm still a little scared about doing any of it, but to each his own. And I know that people are now doing virtual trade shows and stuff, but we're in this now new cyber world. How do you get visible in this cyber world?
With the cyber world, it's kind of like you have to find your tribe. You have to
Okay.
find people that are into that. So, like, if you're someone who just as a like you're a yoga instructor, right?
Right.
You have to go out there and look for, like, you're on Facebook. You have to search for, you know, people that want to do health and wellness, people that want to do some kind of training. And sometimes you can look at your own friends list and you'll find customers even there.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people to, search groups, join groups, interact with people online. If that's
Right.
like light workout, you can just use keywords to find. And even on Instagram, use those hashtags,
Yeah. Yeah.
hashtag yoga life,
Right.
hashtag I want to be a yogi. So find those niches. You have to find the tribe. You have to
Mm-hmm.
find them online. That's the best way to push it. Because to push it to a generalized audience, they'll never understand it. They're not going to see it. They're not going to buy in. Find a
Right.
tribe.
That's awesome. Awesome. Awesome advice. Find a tribe.
You got to
And then,
find it.
and then you become a tribal leader, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
create
I
your
mean, that's the
tribe.
thing.
Create your
And
tribe.
I tell people, go live.
Yeah. I remember the first time I went live. I never went live on Facebook. I've been on Facebook, got like 5 profiles on Facebook for different things that I do, but I never went live. And the first time I went live, I was like, oh, this is kind of scary, And then, but it's crazy because I, by trade, am a professional speaker. So going in front of an audience is not a big thing. But going in front of that live somehow was a little bit of a different experience the first time I had to do it. And one is that I'm used to talking to an audience, right? So when you go live, you're kind of talking to yourself and you kind of wondering, is anybody going to listen to you? So I can see where the intimidation factor is there. So what do you recommend to people who may be intimidated about going live? What tips do you have for them?
As an entrepreneur, remember, you're going to be your first sale. You got to sell to yourself.
Right.
So, hey, I'm into old school methods. Get in front of that mirror, practice what you're going to say, or write down some bullet points. If you're using a tablet, just kind of take a little sticky note to the side there, or on your laptop. You have to figure out what you're going to say. You have to kind of know what your message is when you go live too.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to fumble all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So use those bullet points. Practice in front of a mirror, and just know, don't worry about the number of people that it says are watching, because people will click in and watch. But just try it a couple of times, even if it's just to say, hey, this is Candace. Today is a great Tuesday. I just want to tell you guys that, hey, whatever you do, be the best you. I'm out. I just want to say hi.
No, I think that's awesome. And I think going live consistently too, right? Because then people start to look for you. Now, there are some people who are on Facebook who go live a little more than I care for. And then I always have to decide between, do I unnotify myself from them because they go live so much, but then the one time I want to do it, they say something that I want to hear. So I'm like, oh no, I won't undo the notifications. So I think managing that, how much you go live also to work based off of what it is that you do. A lot of times we're in consultants, and so we're in a service business, so we have to be visible a lot more than if you have product lines. You can do unboxing and do other things a little bit less or not so much, right? Okay, let's talk about building teams. Building teams.
I love it.
Right? I know as an entrepreneur, I cannot live without a team. I gotta have a team. I gotta have a team.
I didn't know what peace was until I got a team. Right? I didn't know. I would run myself ragged. I work from sun up, sun down, weekends, thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, how do I schedule myself? Okay, well, if I'm meeting with clients on the north side of town, I got to meet with all the clients on the north side of town. If I'm on the south side of town, I got to, so then you got to really be crucial within your time management when you're by yourself. And then it was like, one day I think I was up for like 3 days straight. And it's like, wait, what am I doing? So for me, when you talk about building a team, you have to know what kind of team you want.
Right.
But you also have to know what kind of leader you are. Are you a stringent person? Are you, A type? Are you, you have to know who you are to know what kind of team you want.
Okay, so wait, let's just put a pin in it right there, because that's really, really good. So knowing that you have to know what kind of leader that you are, if I was a person who didn't know that, how would I figure that out?
Personality test.
Oh, see, I talked about that last week too. The DISC, I've done it. Myers-Briggs, I've done, I've done so many, I can't remember the name of all of them. I've done Strength Finders.
Yeah.
And eventually you start to find a pattern. If they're not all the same, I tend to be a person who nothing ends up being the same, but I could catch a pattern of something is always, across the board. I'm this one thing. I'm very people oriented and I'm very outgoing. That tends to always be across the board, right? But I'm very focused. So sometimes, that if you're the kind of person who's just going to be flighty, I can't do it because I'm a people person. I'm all over the place, but I'm not flighty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand that. But you have to know what kind of person you are. I did the 16 personalities. That's the one that I took. And I think that one is a lot easier to understand for most people, but it breaks it down. It breaks down how you feel about money, how you feel about success, how do you feel about, everything. And, that's one of the things I do when I bring on new team members.
Right.
Hey, let me go ahead and take that test because I have to know how to relate to you. Because,
Yes.
not saying that you want to walk around eggshells around people. No, that's not it. But if someone that's like, just, I'll use myself. I'm kind of a mediator,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I'm a mediator. But, personality wise, the people that I want on my team are people that can go with little instruction. They can just go, they can just get started and move.
Yes. Right.
So you have to know. And then for me, I'm a person, I want someone's skill set to be higher than mine
Yes.
in their particular niche, in their expertise. I want their knowledge to be greater than mine because if I know more than you, why do I necessarily need you?
Yeah, no, and also too, you like to be the teacher and the
Yes,
developer, but I
yes,
want to teach you and develop you in new areas. I don't
that's
want to
it.
teach you and develop you in these same, like I don't
Same thing.
bring you up to speed is one thing, and then having to constantly teach you is another thing. There should be something that you should be able to develop on your own, and then I can teach you in these other areas. I'm completely relate to what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
but
know that
I love it.
I know I used to give all my teams. I'm going to go back to doing those tests because I used to always give my new team members a test too, because it does really help you understand. I'm a very polished, finished. Everything has to be a certain way, and when there are people who they don't tend to worry about some of those details, it could be like, oh, that doesn't
Yeah,
work for me.
yeah,
Uh,
that could be a problem. And I do not like yes people. I
yes,
do not like yes people. I like people that are different than me. Like my team is a mixed bag, and I
hmm,
love it. I pick people for their expertise, but I also looked at what type of energy they could bring to the team.
yeah,
Because sometimes I could be a little, if I'm deep in thought, I could be a little withdrawn, and I'm an introvert by nature.
hmm, hmm,
You know, um, but I have to have someone. I have to have other people around me that can know when to step in and mix and mingle and make sure the energy and the culture is good because culture is very
yeah.
important when you have a team.
And a lot of times as an entrepreneur, we're naturally sometimes extroverts, right? Sometimes that part comes a little natural to those of us who are, entrepreneurs because we're used to being out there. We have ideas that are going to be out there. We have to put ourselves out there. So we tend to be a little bit extroverted. I know that there are a lot of times when I'm looking for team members, I try to make sure that they are clear that just because I said it doesn't make it so. Because I know I can talk very definitively, right? I was in a conversation with one of my cousins, and they were like, "Really?" And I said, "No, no, no, no. It's not really. I'm asking a question." They're like, "Oh, because the way you said it was like a statement, and it was a matter of fact, and that was it." And I was like, it comes with being the boss kind of thing, right? You just say
Yeah,
things. So sometimes it's okay to push back on your boss.
yes, it is. It is, and I'm learning. I tell people all the time I've worked by myself for so many years. Now to have people around me, and you're kind of like, okay, I have to deal with these different personalities. So I'm glad though that it's not something where I feel like I'm back when I used to be an educator, where I feel like I'm with a bunch of kids and
Right.
okay, everybody's running around, nobody's paying attention. It's like no, everybody stays in their lane. We all respect each other. We have fun with each other, and that makes the work so much more rewarding. So
Right.
I enjoy it, and
Okay,
I'm
so
adding
team.
more team members.
No, I love it. Teams got to have a team. I think being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you have to do everything yourself forever. Try to
Yeah.
find a way to bring people onto your team. Look to define who you are, know kind of leader you are, right? And
Mhm.
then how do you find these teams?
Okay, different ways for me.
Okay.
I, sometimes you gotta look within your own pool of your friends and family. So I did that. I looked at the people that were strong in their areas where I'm mid range. They're like, I'm the third floor and they're the fifth floor in certain
Right.
things.
Right.
So I did that. And at first it kind of just started out as like you said, a barter.
Yeah.
Hey, I need help in this area, and I'll help you on your leadership style and how to present yourself. At first it started out like that, but it was like, well, we kind of like working together. So I started with my friends. I started with my sorority sisters. Then I branched out to my family. I brought my brother and my niece in. So then it was like, okay, all right, this is a good solid team. And the more people ask us for different type of services, I said, okay, I got to add to the deck.
Yeah.
But then you pull in different people, life coaches, people that are strategists, people that can create a learning plan for clients. Because a lot of times, business consultants, they'll just do something for you. But I like to make sure the education piece is there first.
Mhm.
So we create a learning plan for the client
Excellent.
and sometimes for employees. So I love my team. I do. And
I think that's great. I think that's great. I think so. Here's a challenge that most people that when I'm in coaching a client or consulting with a client, they will say, "Oh, we found these great people. We're going to bring them onto the team," and as a team begins to see what you're doing, they begin to start to want to do their own thing, right? So they're like, "You're the front runner. You're the face of everything. Everything is all about you. But I want to do my own thing. So I'm going to do some side business or some, break off." And, how do you ensure that the team is focused all going in the same direction and not wanting to break off into these side, not that you discourage it because you promote entrepreneurship,
yeah,
but to make sure that we're all going the same direction.
I saw that early on. That was one of the things that when I decided to have a team, I knew that that could happen. So I decided to, I don't want to say sweeten the pot, but I decided to develop my team based on entrepreneurs.
Right.
They're entrepreneurs that have their own brand. I push their brands, they push mine. And the great thing about having a team where everybody has a different niche,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we're each other's test dummies.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're our own guinea pigs. We're our own think tank.
Right.
So where someone needs a commercial for their video for their product, maybe clothing or makeup or hair or clothes styling, and we have someone that can do that for you.
Right.
You need a website, we have someone that can do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I use every person's strength to help each team member out.
Right. And then that
That's how I
way
built
they
the
can
team.
stay focused on what it is that you're working on and what it is that you're doing while still getting the support they need for the things that they want to do.
Yeah, but we strategize with each entrepreneur that comes onto the team. We
Mm-hmm.
ask them where their company is now, where do they want to go in the future. And while they work with us, we help them develop,
Right.
that list of those strategies,
Right.
those tips, things that they need.
Right.
So everybody helps each other out. And that's really what it is. We all help each other scout business
Mm-hmm.
where, we might bring in a client and they might need only 2 or 3 services. So then
Right.
that person, that's that client's team. But we push each other's brands and then they all push Joseph Consulting Firm.
No, I think that's great. That is a really great way to do it, to find other entrepreneurs. And actually, that's almost going back to the barter system, because if you could find other entrepreneurs who need a service, and you provide the service. So if I am a video editing content person, then maybe I can help you with your stuff. And if you are a brand developer, you can help me with my stuff. Or if you are, we can all pitch in because we're working different pieces of the
Yeah.
business, and then we can all help each other. But that's a really great way to
Yeah.
look at it, and a really great way to develop teams within your business.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because this week, tomorrow is going to be our first team meeting, and we bring it on um, an animator.
Wow,
So,
that's exciting.
cartoons, right? So we have that. Then a project management person,
Yeah.
because that's going to help keep track of each person's goal.
Right.
You know, we have someone that develops specific trainings just for someone's employees.
Wow.
They'll take your manual, your employee manual, and they'll turn it into a wonderful training. And they'll train your
Wow.
employees for you. So that way you can still conduct business. And we have someone training your employees while they're on site. Now look, they're not going to tell somebody how to work the grill,
Right.
but they can at least go through your standard operating procedures and put together great content videos, great exercises, great icebreakers. So everybody on my team has They have their own thing, and
Oh,
we
that
just
is so
push each
awesome.
other.
And that's another thing too, is that we can talk forever, but standard operating procedures, that's another thing that a coach or a consultant can absolutely help you develop. Because in that way you can hand those over to people that you want to help work with you. But
Yeah.
onboarding and training is very timely as an entrepreneur, but that way it does kind of cut down on some of that. It's not a
Yep.
manual for everything, but it is gives them a framework to work within. That is another good tip, is have SOPs, right? Standard operating procedure.
Yes.
So
You
you
have to,
set it up.
even if they're 2 pages long.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
if someone has an emergency, who they call? If
Yeah,
you have an emergency, you're the CEO, you have an emergency, who do they call?
right.
You have to kind of know those things. You have to have an outline. And
Or
people say,
just
"Oh,
even
but
for files, right?
right."
Like I
See,
find
most
it
people say,
it drives me cuckoo when I go to look for something and I'm like, what is this? And it's called, ABC 123 947. Like, I don't know what that is. We have a file hierarchy system, so I can know how to find something. Because when you download something from the internet or off your phone and you airdrop it to your Mac and renames it and it's in the wrong file format, and I'm like, what is this? So just having a procedure about how we label the files,
"Yeah."
right? Um, just that
Just it
alone,
could be
man.
anything. It could be something
Yeah,
small. Who's in charge of the keys if you lose a key to the building? Just it could be just small
anything.
things.
Yeah.
And people
No,
say,
and
"Well,
those
I
things
can't."
I think
Entrepreneur
that
because I don't like rules. That's why
right.
most people say it. But
Yeah, but I think they help keep continuity and
mhm,
they help keep things moving forward so that if we all know where to go look for the keys, then no one's looking for the keys. I know I'm big for that too, right? So when you come in my house, there's a little hook and you will see every key to everything is on one of those hooks. So I don't have a front door key. I don't have a front door key. I don't know. I don't go to the front door very often. So when I leave out the door, there's a key ring with every hook has a front door key on it. So when I grab a set of keys, I could grab a front door key too, so that I could, just in case I decide to come back in through the front door. And then you put them all back. But something simple as that is everyone knows where to look for the keys.
that's
So
right.
we don't have to wonder about anything. We don't have to question it. If you come to my house and you be like, oh, I know where the keys are, they ain't up on the hook. This is not a question. So I think it just really makes for continuity. Man, this time goes by so fast, right? This was a fantastic chit chat. I just loved it. Okay, Candace. So people want to say, hey, I want to reach out to you. I want to talk to you. How do they do it?
Well, uh, you can always call or text me, right?
Right.
713-425-0510. Or you can visit josephconsultingfirm.com and drop a message about anything, any kind of question. It doesn't matter. I call my team the knowledge brokers, right? So one of the knowledge brokers will get back to you. You can always check us out on Facebook, Instagram, at Joseph Consulting Firm, and we're also on YouTube, Business Knowledge Broker Hour. And you can always, if you want to be a guest on my radio show, text me or call me. It's that
Yeah.
simple. But that's the fastest way to get to me, and I hope people reach out because
I do. Let me tell you something. It's not
gotta do
often
it.
that you could text or call somebody, especially the CEO. And I tell you, it is amazing that you actually do respond.
Yeah.
And and it's you. It's not just like some auto thing. Me, you're gonna get some auto dialer and da da da
Nope.
da da da. And
Never.
but I do try to respond to text messages and everything too. So it's really cool when when a person gets through to you and then you get right back to them. But if I recommend everyone call you up, get on your show. If nothing else, dial in and listen to the cool music that you play on your radio show. Because it
Thank
is cool.
you.
It is cool. Well, Candace, this has been so much fun. And we have to do it again. Well, we'll be doing it again on Monday for Hope's Hats and She Rose.
That's right.
Right?
And wait till you guys see the hat that I have this
Oh,
Monday.
it's gonna be. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I got something new this week too, so this is gonna be so much fun. All right, well, everybody, I'm Sharice Gillian. I'm here in Hustlepreneur Studios, and this was Chit Chat with Sharice, and we were with Candace Joseph, the business broker. And you guys must check her out on Instagram, Facebook. She is amazing, and we'll have to have her back here again soon. Thank you.